Hey guys, KRX50 here with a double review. This time I'll be reviewing the Deluxe 1000 Jacker and the RKF Kamen Thouser from Kamen 01. These are the signature weapon of Kamen Thouser, as well as the Rider Kick's figure of him. The 1000 Jacker is sold on its own, whereas the RKF Kamen Thouser comes with a pair of alternate hands, as well as a figure-sized 1000 Jacker. Now this is definitely an odd combination of two things to put together, but I decided to group these two together because I felt that if I were to review these two things on their own, these separate videos would be a little bit too short. So, hence I combined them into one. With that being said, let's get started. First up, we'll look at the 1000 Jacker in detail. So the 1000 Jacker is Kamen Thouser's lance weapon, which has a color scheme very similar to his own, consisting of mainly gold and black with some silver and purple. Now the 1000 Jacker has a lot more paint than some of the other recent weapons, consisting of all the silver being paint, as well as some of the gold being paint, though a lot of it is actually gold plastic. It's got a very regal look to it, with a lot of ornate details all around. And a lot of that paint does transfer onto the back. We have the speaker, the ProgRise Key release switch, the battery compartment with the tab in. This of course comes with some batteries. We've got the trigger here and the grip end, which is also part of the gimmick. Now to switch it on, this has no power switch, so in order to get that initial sound you need to actually remove the tab or press the reset button.
1000 Jacker.
So from there, we have a single basic attack sound. And that doesn't change if you hold down the trigger. So then we can get to the main gimmick, which is the grip end here. So what you want to do is take this and then pull it all the way out until it locks in place.
Jack Rise.
And pull the trigger.
Jacking great. ZAIA Enterprise.
And that activates the jacking brake. Now what this does is that with this, the 1000 Jacker is used to jack the power of other riders' forms. So, for example, the first time I used it was on Kamen 01 Flying Falcon. What I did was he attached the end of it to this point on the driver. Then
Jack Rise.
he used a jack rise to steal the power of Flying Falcon, at least temporarily. And you've probably already noticed the change to the panel here. So when you pull out the grip end,
Jack Rise.
that pulls out a panel that reveals this blue layer underneath. And so, or rather purple, and so the purple is to show that it's loaded up with some kind of power it jacked.
Jacking great.
And pulling the trigger resets it back to normal to release that power.
ZAIA Enterprise.
Next, like with the other weapons so far, this is compatible with ProgRise keys. So, this being Thouser's weapon, we'll use the Amazing Coccyx ProgRise key. We'll just flip it around and start it like this.
ProgRise Key confirmed. Ready to break.
And pull the trigger.
Hacking great. ZAIA Enterprise.
So like that, it'll activate the hacking brake. But from here we can once again pull the grip end.
1000 Rise.
And pull the trigger.
1000 great. Enterprise.
So that time we got the 1000 rise instead of the jack rise to activate the 1000 break. Let's do it one more time.
1000 rise. 1000 break. ZAIA Enterprise.
Now, similar to the authorized buster, this doesn't need a specific ProgRise key to make the sounds. Just any other, or just any ProgRise key that'll fit. So, for example, we can use Lightning Hornet.
ProgRise key confirmed. Ready to break. 1000 rise. 1000 break. ZAIA Enterprise.
And it'll make the same sounds. Now, the 1000 dagger is actually pretty smart when it comes to how the sounds work. For example, if we pull out the grip end,
Jack rise.
then insert the ProgRise key,
ProgRise key confirmed. Ready to break. 1000 rise.
it'll switch over to 1000 rise,
1000 break. ZAIA Enterprise.
and we'll get the 1000 break. Conversely, if we pull it out and activate the 1000 rise,
1000 rise.
then pull out the ProgRise key,
Jacking break.
it'll go back to the jacking break.
ZAIA Enterprise.
And that's because no matter what, if it's pulled out all the way,
Jack rise.
it'll go into a standby state. And the trigger isn't actually what activates the sound, it's the lever going back into the grip.
Jacking break. ZAIA Enterprise. ZETSUMETSU Evolution. BREAKHORN. PERFECTRISE. When the five horns cross, the golden soldier Thouser is born. Presented by ZAIA.
Next up, we'll look at Kamen Thouser himself. So as to be expected from his gear, Thouser has a very regal and ornate looking design, with a lot of gold and silver as well as some black and purple. Starting from the head, has a very sharp look to him, with these pretty sinister looking purple eyes, as well as this mask which creates a sort of five-horn crown. And, just like with the announcement and with what we see with the driver, this is actually a combination of 3 and 2, where the black horns are from the Caucasus, and the 2 silver horns are from the Arsino, which is a very nice touch. So, like I said, they all create this sort of crown look on his head. Moving on to the body, you can see it's got a gold base with the silver armor on top of it. It's very sleek, very angular, at the same time rounded, not many sharp points. Going down the arms, we have a little bit of pearl accenting along the forearms as well as some in the shoulders. Got a black that runs down the chest and into the legs. And on the waist we of course can see the 1000 driver, which is mainly silver with some gold in the middle. We've got some nice silver armor panels on his legs, and even a bit of silver on his feet. And on the back, got some more details, as well as the paint from the shoulders continuing around to the back. Articulation wise, it's got the standard articulation for an RKF, ball jointed neck, Arms rotate around 360 degrees. Go in and out, though it is limited, but can be a little bit less limited thanks to the ball joint in the shoulder. Bicep rotation. Single joint elbows. Wrist swivel. Ab crunch. Legs go forward and back. In and out. Got the thigh swivel. Deep bend at the knee. And ball joint ankles. Now, interestingly enough, the Thousand Driver does have a couple of ProgRise Key holders on the side, even though Thouser himself does not have any other ProgRise keys that he normally uses. It seems that the ProgRise holders are just standard with all of the belts in the series. Now, as far as his accessories go, first up we have this pair of alternate hands, which are kind of relaxed and splayed out, like so. And so we can take one of the hands and then replace it, just like that, nice and easy. Then the other accessory is the Thousand Jacker. This is done in all the same gold plastic as used for the body, though it does have the proper proportions of the weapon in the show. Got all that nice detail in there, including some molding for the lines within the center panel. And of course it's hauled out on the back. For this is specifically made for his right hand. As you can see, there's a peg hole there and the peg in the middle of his palm. We can just get that in there. Make sure it plugs in place. And now he's properly holding the Thousand Jacker. So you can pose him as you like. And thanks to Articulation, you can even get him into a pose that makes it somewhat look like he's going to be pulling out the grip end. And there we go. So overall, starting off with the Thousand Jacker, I would say that it's a simple but satisfying weapon. It's got a nice shape and design to it. Obviously, it's going to be on the small side compared to the show version, but it is kid size, so that is forgivable. And it's got a pretty simple and easy to use gimmick. And one thing I appreciate about the gimmick is that even though it has only sounds, it does make up for lack of lights by having a little color change gimmick in the center to at least simulate what it might be like if there were lights in it. Not to mention, all the sounds can be used pretty simply, and it actually is a bit smarter than some other toys with how it actually does take into account what state it's in and whether it has a ProgRise key in it or not to change sounds accordingly. As far as the RKF Thouser goes, it holds up with the other RKF figures so far in the line. Has all the pan articulation it needs, as well as good details. Of course, has the standard pair of hands, and the thing that it has that I would say is a bit of a point of contention is the fact that it includes a weapon. As you guys have seen in the past reviews, this is one of the few RKFs for the 01 series so far to actually come with a weapon. The only exceptions thus far have been for Vulcan and Valkyrie, who have a weapon as part of their belt. But for others, like 01 or Horobi, they don't come with their exclusive weapons, and I don't get why they've held off on including weapons in the figures until now, especially when they had no problem doing it last year, and even this year with the Legend Rider figures, they also include weapons with them. So I do hope that at some point in the future, we'll get some figures that actually include those other weapons to use with the other RKF figures, because I will just say that, in my opinion, if a rider has a weapon, it's much better if the figure of it includes the weapon than not, because it gives you a whole lot more posing options. So while I'm glad that they did include the Thousand Jacker with the RKF Thouser, I do wish that they had done that kind of thing sooner, and hope that this is a trend for the better. So with these, I can certainly recommend the Thousand Jacker At least if you're a fan of Thouser, it is something that would be a little bit more easily passable because it doesn't necessarily have any way that affects the ProgRise keys, and is a pretty self-contained weapon for the most part. And if you're collecting the RKF so far for 0-1, I can certainly recommend picking up Thouser as well. Next time, I'll be heading back to the Yokai Watch series with my review of the YSP Watch Hero Henshin set. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KRX50, Riding off.